Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633. We're back with another Star Wars review. This time we're going to take a look at the 3 3/4 inch Rogue One Sergeant Jyn Erso in her Imperial Ground Crew Disguise. Now, this figure is actually not a reuse of the older mold, since a lot of the parts are actually new, especially when you compare it with the older release. Some of the new changes include obviously the new head sculpt that's attached, and it's also not the same head sculpt as seen with the basic Jedha version of Jyn Erso. And the actual figure is a slightly different scale from the other release as well. First, we're going to take a look at the box. The box shows a pretty good photo of Sergeant Jyn Erso there. Shows the name, obviously, although it doesn't actually state that it is Imperial Ground Crew Disguise. And it has a bio as normal, which is pretty much standard for all the boxes we've gotten so far. What's cool about this figure is that it actually includes a removable helmet. Now this is a little different than the standard helmets, since a lot of the other helmets are just a standard one that goes over the head. This one's a little bit of a more softer material, and the way that it's just placed on is pretty interesting. It does have a little bit of a gap there, which is one of the biggest differences between some of the helmets I've seen with the 3 3/4 inch figures, since a lot of them are just standard helmet style. So this one's got a little bit more sculpting to it that makes it a little bit more unique. You can place it over her head, and it stays on pretty decent, with no problems. And she also includes the same batons that were included with the ground crew as well. The set also came with this missile launcher, which is just one of the things that we've seen with the 3 3/4 inch figures. It does have a soft rubber tip, and you can fire it using the mechanism back here, and it does fire with the spring load there, but it's something I don't really care for, so we're just going to take that off to the side. As a comparison, here is Jyn Erso next to an Imperial Ground Crew from earlier, and just comparing them side by side, it is a little bit shorter than what we've seen with the Imperial Ground Crew. The overall sculpting is also slightly different, but there isn't a whole lot of difference between the two outside of paint and so on. And the biggest difference, though, which a lot of fans have already mentioned, is that the actual symbol, if I can get it to the frame, there we go, is different. Since the paint is in the opposite design, rather than having the outlines on the outside, it's now the opposite color, and I find that very distracting. Otherwise, it's still a pretty good figure, and it is definitely a figure of a more iconic version of the character, since a lot of the earlier promotions actually showed her with a very iconic scene that actually sadly did not make it into the film in her disguise here. As a comparison, here it is next to the Jedha version, and I actually like the face sculpt on this new one a lot better, since it's a lot more accurate, in my opinion, to Felicity Jones, and the fact that it's a lot better in the hair, since it's not as big and poofy as we've seen with the Jedha version. It just looks kind of weird and doesn't look really all that accurate compared to this one, which I think is a lot better likeness to the actress in general. So that pretty much covers the review for this particular figure. Now, it's definitely not a must-buy for those who kind of already have a Jyn Erso, since it is just a variant suit. So I think they did a really nice job to actually at least release the character, and it's still a pretty good figure of Jyn Erso. I got this at BBTS along with some of the other 3 3/4 inch figures of the current wave, and if you happen to find it in stores, I say it's a decent pickup. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check me on Twitter under Darkon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible, and I'm back with more Star Wars reviews and more, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube.